Hello, welcome to another tidbit of timely truth. When I was a kid growing up, my favorite after-school program was Superman. I loved Superman, and I'd get off that school bus and go into the house and grab a Pepsi, a sack of potato chips, and sit down to watch Superman. As Clark Kent, Superman was a bumbling idiot. Lois Lane couldn't stand Clark Kent. Perry White, his publisher, didn't want to use him for any important news stories. And Jimmy Olsen always made fun of him. But when the criminals of Metropolis would come out and wreak havoc in that city, Clark Kent would hear about it and he would find himself in a telephone booth. He'd go into that telephone booth, and a few seconds later he'd come out as Superman with a red and blue jumpsuit on with a red S on it and a red cape hanging from his back. Almost as fast as a speeding bullet, Lois Lane and many others suddenly loved him. He wasn't Clark Kent anymore. In fact, he was a totally different person. He was faster than a speeding bullet. He was able to leap tall buildings with a single bound. He was more powerful than a locomotive. Why? Because he was Superman. And as Superman, he could catch bullets with his bare hands. He could twist a gun barrel into a knot, and he could bend the blade of a knife. And it's because of all of those things that Superman could do, the city of Metropolis was suddenly and swiftly changed. Now, how could Superman do all those things? Well, it's because he was not of this earth. He was from a place called Krypton, and when he brought the power of Krypton here, made it work down here, he was able to change this earth into a place that was just like Krypton. The power from up there filled him as he lived down here, and he changed the environment. I'm sure you know where I'm going with this, because I wonder if many of us in the church today need to take a trip to God's telephone booth and there shed our old ways of thinking and talking and relating to the rest of the world. And maybe even we could come out with a red S on our chests. And even though that wouldn't make us Superman or even Superwoman, perhaps it will stand for the fact that we've been saved by the shed blood of Jesus Christ. That red S definitely won't mean that we've become supermen and women, having completely shed those destructive habits of our life. But it will mean that in spite of those things, if we trust in Jesus in saving faith, we are saints of God. And then when we go home to our families or into our neighborhoods or cities and communities, who knows, maybe even our entire state, those who see us will ask, is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's one of God's people, empowered by the power of God in heaven, changing and transforming the environment down here. I'll see you next time.